Putin and Xi's top aides held an urgent phone call after Ayatollah Khamenei's death. The big question is, will Iran's so-called allies be the ones to face the real heat after Donald Trump's attack? Will Russia and China be severely impacted after the end of the Khamenei regime in Iran? Are China and Russia the real targets of Trump's strike on Iran? Iran's close allies, China and Russia, have strongly condemned the killing of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, describing the incident as a shocking and unacceptable act. The Kremlin has denounced Khamenei's killing as, quote, a cynical violation of all norms of human morality, emphasizing that such actions go against every international standard. Moscow also highlighted Khamenei's personal contributions, praising his crucial role in strengthening the historic relationship and strategic partnership between Iran and Russia over the years. Meanwhile, China has described the assassination of Ayatollah Khamenei as a grave violation of Iran's sovereignty and national security, calling for calm and respect for Iran's internal stability and independence. In the wake of the shocking incident, the foreign ministers of Russia and China also held a phone conversation to discuss the latest developments, reaffirming their shared stance and continued coordination on the Iran crisis. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi told his Russian counterpart, and I quote, "It is unacceptable for the US and Israel to launch strikes on Iran during the Iran-US negotiations. It is also unacceptable for them to openly kill the leader of a sovereign state and encourage government transfer." This comes as both Russia and China are expected to be deeply affected by any full-scale war involving Iran and by the political shockwaves unleashed after Ayatollah Khamenei's killing, which could reshape their strategic, economic and security interests across the wider region. China is one of the few major world economies that still maintain substantial trade ties with Iran, continuing to buy its energy and goods even as most Western partners have pulled back under pressure. This continues despite sweeping US sanctions on the oil-rich Islamic Republic over its controversial nuclear program, restrictions that were specifically designed to choke off Tehran's ability to sell crude on the global market. China now purchases close to 90% of Iran's oil exports and accounts for well over 30% of Iran's total foreign trade, effectively serving as Tehran's primary economic lifeline in the face of international isolation. The structure of China, Iran trade heavily favors Beijing, which pays discounted prices for Iranian crude and floods the Iranian market with manufactured goods, making it hard for China to simply walk away from this vital source of energy. In the event of a wider regional conflict, China would also struggle with any disruption to shipping through the strategic Strait of Hormuz, a choke point through which a large share of the world's seaborne oil and gas supplies must pass. Beijing is deeply worried that a prolonged war in and around Iran could roil the global energy market, sending prices soaring and injecting fresh volatility into an already fragile world economy that depends on steady oil flows. China's broader attempt to counterbalance what it calls US hegemony would also suffer a serious setback, as it risks losing a crucial regional ally in Tehran that has helped Beijing project influence across West Asia and beyond. Iran is one of Russia's strongest strategic allies, and any prolonged war on Iranian soil could seriously reshape their relationship, undermining Moscow's influence and coordination with Tehran across the Middle East and beyond. Experts point out that the Kremlin's biggest immediate worry is its substantial investment portfolio in Iran, including multi-billion-dollar projects such as transport corridors, nuclear reactors, and planned energy ventures that could all be thrown into jeopardy by instability or regime change. Nikita Smagin, an expert in Russian-Iranian relationship, told Moscow Times, and I quote, "Russia has invested a lot of effort and money in Iran," Smagin said. "Certainly, if we imagine regime change or if we imagine instability in Iran, all these projects are under threat." Business interests aside, the Kremlin is deeply wary that any new government emerging in Tehran after this war may not be as friendly or reliable for Russia as the current hardline leadership has been. Moscow also fears that the next Iranian leadership could tilt towards more pragmatic engagement with Western countries, potentially weakening Iran's alignment with Russia and opening the door to closer cooperation with Europe and the United States. This anxiety is sharpened by recent history, coming on the heels of the fall of Syria's Bashar al-Assad in 2024, another longtime Russian ally whose ouster badly dented Moscow's image as a dependable security patron in the region. Analysts warn that any direct economic gains for Russia from higher oil prices during the Iran war are likely to be short-term and limited mainly to increased revenues from crude exports, while the broader geopolitical and security risks could heavily outweigh these benefits. In an effort to stabilize global markets, OPEC Plus on Sunday announced an increase in production quotas of around 206,000 barrels per day, a change that will take effect from April as the cartel tries to offset supply fears triggered by the conflict. Some experts also believe that China, Russia, and wider Asia will ultimately feel the impact of any prolonged Iran war through higher energy costs, disrupted shipping routes, and increased economic uncertainty across their major trading corridors.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that we will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the US will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.